Welcome back to our channel, or if this is your first time joining us, we thank you for joining us on this journey. And so today we are going to talk about marriage and relationships while going through the stress of child loss or infertility. Whatever your situation is, how do you maintain your relationship? How did we maintain our relationship and our marriage within that? And so how did you feel that your relationship was impacted by your infertility or struggles with infertility?
We went through it. I definitely feel like we had a trial by fire, and it was really bad at one point where I woke up and I was questioning the purpose of our marriage, as whether or not I made a mistake or God made a mistake, and and whether or not my husband and I were supposed to be together. I'm like, maybe God is not allowing us to have a child because I married the wrong person. And we all know in our grief we can be irrational. So yeah. I definitely don't believe that today, but I do have to say that I felt like I made a mistake, and I was trying to basically reconcile what was happening to me with something and attach it to something I may have done to deserve this. So I was like, oh, maybe I married the wrong person, and that's why God closed my womb, because he's like, no, I didn't want you guys to connect, so we're not gonna produce seed from this, from this union. So that was hard, because then it was resentment at the situation, kind of resentment with my husband. And it didn't help that when every month when the fertility treatment would fail, he would shut down. My husband is the type of person, he shuts down, goes to his man cave, and that's that. And I know a lot of women can relate to that, because a lot of men, that seems to be their defense mechanism: shut down, push everybody away, etc. And I felt hurt by that, because I'm like, well, you're shutting down, but I need comfort too. But it is also my fault, because I am also strong-willed. And so I'm the type of person where, like, I'm an independent Black woman, I don't need nobody. so I take the blame for some of that too, because I may not have shown a lot of my hurt, and I may not have shown a lot of my, vulnerabilities and sensitivities to him. So he's walking around thinking I'm fine, like, oh, this is not really bothering her. This is not really taking a toll on her. So he's like, well, I'm gonna go and wallow in my misery and self-pity. And so I had to learn, one, God didn't make no mistakes. I'm married to who I'm married to for a reason, and we have a purpose, and the love, all that stuff is there. So I had to learn how to be more open and be more vulnerable and say, hey, look, I'm hurting too, and I need you just as much as you need me in this, situation. So we had to kind of come together, and we had to find ways to connect in our hurt and in our pain. So we did devotionals together. We would commit to praying every night before bed, or if it was something just simple as saying I love you and giving each other a kiss before we leave, for work each day. Because our thing was, if we don't have children at all, are we okay with each other? Are we okay with just Christy and Gabe? And that's it. And so we had to come to terms with that. Like, what if it doesn't happen for us the way we're hoping? Can we move forward in our marriage in this and love each other and enjoy each other, childless or not? And so we had to work at it. And it didn't happen overnight, but we worked at it. We built a rhythm, we built a routine, we built a support system within each other. And eventually it made us stronger. And moving helped as well, because we didn't have as many distractions and external influences of making us look at them like, look at them, they have this and they have that. So we didn't have to focus on the world, and we could focus on each other in our household, and it helped a lot. But it was rough. It was rough. What about you?
For me, it was one of those things, and I'm such a nerd. Like, before, I don't even remember, maybe in college, I read about women or partners who went through child issues or, some sort of fertility issues or child loss, and how the divorce rate for those couples was so high. Don't know why I read it. Maybe, of course, maybe it was preparing me. But it was just one of those things I was interested in. And so I read about it. And so that was in the back of my mind when we had the loss of our daughter, and how, I don't want to lose my husband. We've already lost our daughter. I don't want to lose him. And I found myself that if he wasn't around me, I would always be missing him. I think I became a little bit more clingy, if you will. And so I felt the need to always be up under him. And especially because when I was alone, I felt that I was just kind of alone with my thoughts. And I didn't want to think. I didn't want to, dwell on what had happened too much. And so I just preferred to be with my husband 24/7. And so that was something that, I told him. I was just like, I don't like when you leave. He would go out because he didn't like for me to see him grieving. And so although he was grieving, I knew that he was grieving, but he felt that it would hurt me more to see him. Yes. And so, of course, he's trying to be that strong pillar for me. And most times he was. And one of the things that he did, he poured himself into painting. He just, all of a sudden, just picked up a paintbrush and decided he wanted to paint. And so that's what he did. And that helped to keep his mind off of some things and helped him to be a little bit stronger for me as well, because he knew that it was very, very, very difficult for me. And so more than anything, I felt that the loss of our children strengthened our relationship. And that's something that I'm so thankful for, because who knows what what would have happened if it would have been easy for us. Who knows? And so I'm just really thankful in that sense that the relationship was strengthened, and that we didn't allow it to fracture us, to fracture the relationship, and but we were actually able to build.
Exactly. I think that adversity definitely shows you, what you've got. It shows you, if you've got the, the strength and the fortitude to be able to endure in a marriage, when, that match is lit and it seems like everything has exploded,